Monday can be a bummer for people. So when you're frustrated with the different projects you got going on, how do you keep motivated and keep going?
Well, for me, when I get frustrated, it's not about the motivation. It's about the end goal, how I think about things. Like more recently, I was extremely frustrated with this workbook. Like I'm doing this children's activity book and doing the word search. Like if you ever try and do word search within a program, it is extremely challenging because you got to get the letters to line up. You got to obviously make sure it says a word. I mean, it was just extremely challenging and it was frustrating me because the margins was being off. But ultimately, when I run into that type of a problem, I intensify. I really try and figure it out because ultimately it's about the end goal of having a workbook or activity book to help young kids. So it's not necessarily motivation for me. It's almost like purpose.
So what roadblocks have you faced recently then?
That
was the only one?
The crossword, but I think it's more or less, I keep saying crossword, word search, because it's more or less about everything is new when I'm building out a workbook. Like doing the cover is new. Doing the activities is new. Everything is new. So every time you do this inside of a new program in design. So every time I run into something, I'm like, how do I get this margin? It's like when you first started doing Microsoft Word and you couldn't figure out how to put the number on there and all. That's kind of how it is for InDesign. I'm figuring everything out. So everything is new. Then I got to figure out, how do I want it to go? How does it feel for the student? How does it feel for the kid going through it? Should I put coloring back to back to back? Or should I do coloring and then do crossword, then do word search? How should I do it? What does it feel like? So that's more or less, I don't want to say frustrating because I actually enjoy the process, but that frustration that I run into, believe it or not, I enjoy it. So it gives me an obstacle to overcome.
With that, because it seems like you already have methods to help you push through. What methods can people use to stay motivated within their goals?
I always say it like this. I mean, motivation is one thing, but another is developing a lifestyle behind it. So we talk about working out. Some people say, how do I stay motivated to work out? I say develop it as a lifestyle. That's just the way I look at everything. So I know I'll wake up and do it day in, day out, and I'll do it for the rest of my life. Like I don't have to question eating healthy. I'm gonna do that for the rest of my life. I don't need a diet plan. So the same thing that I do with this work, it's not about me being motivated, it's purpose driven so I can continue going. So I don't think, oh, let me figure out a way, let me get myself up, let me go ahead and do it. I don't think like that. I really enjoy jumping into it. Like the challenge of creating this children's activity book is very challenging. It's very challenging, but I like that challenge because I know once I finalize it, it's going to be able to help somebody else. So that's just the way I look at it. I don't look at it on a motivational standpoint. I look at it from a purpose standpoint.